Hello, Seekers. Thank you for joining me for episode 5 of Hostile Solo with some rules from Cepheus Universal. It's been quite a long time since the last one, and honestly, this has been really a very difficult series for me to create and to record and to go through, and which is crazy because I really love Hostile a lot, and I love Cepheus Universal, and I do have more plans for them on the channel. But I had been thinking about why this series was so difficult for me. I think one reason is that the enemy that we have here is actually a very advanced enemy, and there are quite a bit of rules and guidelines for this enemy in the Medusa setting book, and it's really a very very formidable and complicated enemy. And I think it's just a little bit too much for me to handle at this point in my hobby career of solo role playing, solo tabletop games. And to play this character in a very believable and realistic way, and not have it, sort of seem like it was too easy or too difficult or anything like that. So it would have been a lot easier just to fight a bunch of bugs, as far as being able to kind of play out the enemy AI and how that works. But there's really something deeper, kind of a deeper issue with this. And I was watching a video by Me, Myself, and Die the other day, and he talks about something in there that really made me realize, okay, that's exactly what the problem is. And it's a point that he makes when talking about how he likes to run games. And in that video, which I'll link that video in the description, but in that video, the last point that he makes is that the job of the GM, of the game master, is not necessarily to tell a story or craft a story or pre-write a story, but it's to facilitate the players exploring the story and uncovering the story through the usage of the rules systems, of rolling dice, of interacting with the tables and the basic setting information and asking questions about the setting. And so it's really the job of the players to uncover and reveal what the story is. And that really made me think about how I went about creating this adventure that we are, playing, this mission that we're playing here. And I think I really made a big mistake by sort of crafting the entire story before starting and just kind of running with it. And it's also a little bit to do with how the game, the level of complexity of the game that we have, because Hostile really is a full-on RPG. You have every kind of element. You have a full, universe, worlds, planets. You have a full social system, combat systems. You have all your different skill rolls, things like that. So there's so many different systems going on. There's a lot of randomization. There's a lot of variety and things that are going on. And so, as a GM, if you have this very strict story that you absolutely need the players to follow, and they don't follow it, you're going to be trying so hard to railroad them onto that story. And that's, to some extent, that's what I've been doing the whole time playing this. I've been like, well, I kind of have to do certain things a certain way because it's just not going to work, and it will just totally ruin, what kind of story that I'm trying to tell here. But I think that's the problem, is that I'm trying to tell a story. So it's been quite a learning experience, and I'm definitely going to learn from this going forward. And I think, it also makes you think that, as a solo player, um, you maybe you want to leave some things more up to chance, or you want to kind of you want to have either a very, very set story where you're basically following a script. That would be more like my Agrastia Reborn, Broken Shores, more like that playthrough, where you have a very set script that you're following. Or you want to try to make things maybe almost as random as you possibly can, because if you're trying to do both at the same time, have a very strict and formulated story, and then also leave up this full, RPG system of all kinds of randomness all at the same time, it's really just too much to handle. And you need to well, you're going to have to be very, very skilled at what you're doing to pull that off. And so it's just overwhelming. So I'm going to do my best here to continue on with this. And yeah, just knowing that there's going to be some things that are not how I'd want them to be. And if you were playing it solo and you ran into some plot holes and things like that, you can easily just kind of throw those things out. But when you are trying to show a somewhat coherent story to the viewers that are watching, it is another level of complexity there. So, but thank you guys for joining me on this and learning along with me. Anyone that has enjoyed the series or does enjoy this series, and yeah, I know that this is really just the beginning because I have so many more things that I want to do and play with Hostile and Cepheus. There's also been a new book recently. It's called The Sword of Cepheus, second edition. I'm really interested in looking at that as well, and I think that would tie in really well with all the rules that you have, both in Hostile Solo and in Cepheus Universal. So I'm really excited about the future of things that can come with this system, and it's definitely a system that's going to be around for me because there's just so much opportunity and things that you can do with this system. And in the future, I will do that on a more randomized basis and not craft a big story before starting that. So, yeah, a very important lesson learned. Okay, so let's get back to where we were with the mission here. And last time we had engaged with this battle armor here, and things went not terribly great for everybody. And we had Moose tried to fire a missile at the battle armor. The battle armor was able to jam his targeting computer, and so he took a pretty big penalty there, and he wasn't able to hit him with the missile. But then Moose later was able to get a grenade launcher shot on him, and he was able to take 1 point of hull damage. So his hull started at 3, so his hull damage is now down to 2. And again, the way that works is you have to cut through the armor, and then after you cut through the armor, if you deal a certain amount of damage past that, then it will cause hull damage. So that's what we're looking for here is hull damage. And in order to do that with grenades, we have to move in very closely and attack directly. So right now it's going to be the turn of Sarge's turn, and Sarge is going to have to come in and throw a grenade from very close distance. He's going to have to throw a grenade from within 3 squares. So he would have to move to right here, and then he would have to go ahead and throw a grenade there. So we're going to have to make kind of like a suicide attack here, really, to pull this off. Okay, so we're going to make a throwing roll here for the grenades, which is going to be an average dex roll. So we're going to want to hit an 8 or higher in dexterity. And Sarge, I believe, does not have any kind of throwing skill, so I think he won't be able to receive any bonus from this. But there is one distance bonus that I believe he can get because the target, I think, is less than half of the maximum distance, which is supposed to be 10 meters. So I believe here that he can get a +1 modifier due to the close range. So we're going to roll for a dex roll, and we're going to have a +1 modifier to that. And that is going to be a 10. So that will be a successful throw there for Sarge. And that's going to be able to do 5d6 damage, which is what we need. You need damage of 4d6 or higher in order to impact the armor of this basically being treated as a vehicle here. So we have the penetration table here, and then we'll also look at the armor that we have for the battle armor, and he's got an armor of 16. So we're going to need to do at least 17 damage in order to get a hull point reduction. So let's roll 5d6, and we have to get at least 17 damage here. So that's going to be 11, 15, So that's going to be 21. Okay, so we do have over 17. So that's going to mean 4 damage gets through. And 4 damage getting through would put us at this first tier here. So it's going to be a hull point reduction of 1. So he will go down to 1 more point on the hull. And there's also going to be 1 roll on the component damage table. So we want to hope for something pretty good here. That's going to help us survive after this turn. So let's roll on the component damage table. It's going to be a 2d6. And that is going to be a 9, which is weapons. And it says one of the vehicle's weapons is disabled and may not fire. On a 1d6 roll, a result of 4 to 6 indicates that a gunner in that station also takes 3d6 damage. Okay, so now in this case, the battle armor only actually has 1 weapon. So if we count that weapon as being disabled, then really he doesn't have much of anything left that he can do. So I think what I might do for this is I'm a little bit inclined maybe to house rule it a little bit to still let him have the weapon, but I also don't really want to go against the rules as well. So, but yeah, that is going to effectively end the combat to a certain extent, because he really won't have any way to attack us other than maybe trying to steal a weapon or something like that. So I think what we'll do is we'll roll a 1d6, and if we get a 4 to 6, it'll indicate that the weapon is destroyed. But if we get a 1 to 3, it will just be the weapon will take weapon will deal half damage. So the weapon damage is either going to be halved or it is going to be destroyed. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's see what we get with the roll. All right, and that's going to be a 5. So yeah, okay, the weapon is going to be destroyed. So that's a very, very fortunate grenade toss there for Sarge. And of course, they may not necessarily know for sure if the weapon was destroyed, but they can probably see. Maybe Sarge says something to them like, "Oh, I think I damaged his weapon," or his weapon took a lot of that blast. So maybe they're at least cautiously optimistic that they have disabled this very dangerous weapon that the battle armor had. So we now have DJ's turn, and probably what he's going to want to do is also run out and throw a grenade and basically follow up with what Sarge did, because Sarge really kind of just showed the rest of the squad there that this is a valid tactic, that you can do some damage with a grenade that's been thrown at close range. Okay, so DJ can move out to about right here, and he can also go ahead and throw a grenade. So he's going to make a dex roll here, trying to hit the target of 8. So in DJ with his 12 dex, he will be able to get a skill bonus there. So he's going to have a +2 characteristic modifier, and also, so let's see if he is within if he's within 5 meters or less. Yeah, so he's within half the distance, the maximum distance of 10 meters. So he'll also get a +1 for that. So he's going to have +3 to this dex roll here. And that's going to be a 10. So it'll be 13. So he makes that with no problem. And then now we'll need to roll for damage. And once again, he will have to do 17 damage or more in order to penetrate through the armor. That's going to be 12, 16, 18, and 20. Okay, so he's going to have 3 damage is going to get through. So once again, if we consult the penetration table, then he has done enough damage to reduce the hull by 1 and also the component damage roll. So the same as what Sarge did. And so then we would reduce the hull to 0 actually. And then for the component damage roll, that's going to be an 8, which would be the occupants or the cargo. Either 1 to 6 passengers are injured or suffer 3d6 damage each, or up to 500 kilograms of the vehicle's cargo is destroyed or badly damaged. Okay, well, we are about to find out, actually, very shortly here, what is the nature of the interior of this machine once they've taken it out of service. So now that the vehicle has been reduced to 0 hull points, it is knocked out, and the next points of damage would go to the vehicle's structure. And when the structure reaches 0, it is destroyed, and probably anybody on board would be killed or seriously injured. So let's look at the structure points that this has. So it also has 2 structure points. So in this case, we could have maybe Buttons could also throw a grenade, but she's going to be too far away, I think, to do anything. And probably she would stay back and maybe even be ready to use the comms to consult the rest of the team. Like calling in an airstrike is actually something that you could do. And had this fight gone on longer or played out, differently, an airstrike may have been a good option as well. And so Moose already had his turn in the last episode, so that's going to end the turn for both of our, for all of our team. But now we could say that the battle armor will come forward and it is going to try to punch Sarge. I think the battle armor is aware that the weapon is disabled, and also that all of its hull is badly damaged at this point. But I think it can go in for a punch. So let's look up some melee combat rules and see about doing a punch here. So he's going to make a hand-to-hand attack with fists. I don't believe that he has any knives or anything like that. No, okay. He just has the 1 weapon hard point. But we can see his stats here so that we can make a melee combat roll. And with the strength of 13, he is going to get a pretty decent bonus there. He's going to get a +2 bonus to an attack here. So we would go with the strength roll being the higher one. And I think because normally an unarmed human can inflict 1d6 damage when they hit. I think we're going to say that this is going to be 2d6 damage because this is a punch from basically a heavily armored exoskeleton. So we're going to say this is 2d6 damage, and so he's going to be rolling for the target number of 8 or higher, but he's going to have a +2 bonus and be rolling 2d6. So that's going to be 8 points of damage there. And I believe that's not going to get through the armor for Sarge. Now he's got 11 armor, so that's not going to get through his armor. But it was a pretty good hit there. And now it is going to be our squad's turn. And I think probably the best thing for them to do would be to get out of the way and let Moose step up and finish him off with the grenade launchers. So Sarge is going to essentially move back and just get out of the way of this blast, and same for DJ. And then Sarge is going to move up and fire the grenade launcher. Buttons will just hang in the back there for right now. And let's see what Sarge is going to do here. So he's going to be using the heavy weapon skill here. So he'll get a +2 on that. And I think he can get no dex bonus there. So he's just going to get a +2. And that is only a 3. So Sarge only rolled a 5, so he's going to miss his attack. Or sorry, not Sarge, Moose. Moose is going to miss his attack. Always getting Moose and Sarge confused. And now Sarge and DJ are like, okay, so we're going to have to finish him off ourselves, I guess. So Sarge is going to run back up here and throw another grenade here. And he will have just the 1 point bonus for being at very close range, and not going to be any. Let's see. It looks like he might get a dex bonus there for 9. I think that would be a 1 point bonus, actually. Yeah, so he'll get a 1 point bonus. So he's going to have a +2 here. So he needs to roll at least a 6 or higher. And he's done it. He's rolled a 9. So now he'll roll 5d6 damage. And once again, he's got to get, I believe, a 17 or higher. So that's probably not going to do it there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, because the hull is destroyed, I wonder if we still need to deal with the armor the same way as before. No, so it looks like the armor will remain in place, even though the vehicle, the battle armor, has been heavily compromised at this point. Okay, so now DJ is going to run out, and he's going to make his throw. And he does have the higher dexterity here, so he's going to have a total of, I believe, a +3 bonus. So he's only going to need to roll a 5. Yeah. So he's got the 12 dex, so he'll only need to roll a 5 here. And that is going to be a 3, so nobody can get a grenade off for some reason. And we're now going to pass a turn again. The armor is going to move forward, and he's going to go for a punch on Sarge once again. And he will get a 2d6 here, as well as a +2 bonus. And that's going to be a 9. So he will hit there, and we will roll for the damage. And that's also going to be a 9, which once again is not going to get through the armor of Sarge, but they're kind of doing a bit of a rock'em sock'em robots here. And once again, Sarge is going to run back, and DJ is going to run back, and Moose is going to fire again with the grenade launcher. And really, Moose has had a very hard time hitting almost anything in this entire mission. So let's see what he can do. trying to get the 6 here. He's got a +2 bonus. And that is just going to be 1 shy, so he won't hit there again. And I believe these guys, let's see, 1, 2. These guys have still got 2 grenades left at this point. So Sarge will just move up 1 square. He's going to throw a grenade. And he'll just have the +1 bonus for the close range. And that's going to be a 10, 11. So finally he has done that. And we'll roll a 5d6 for damage. And that's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that is not going to get through the armor because it's going to have to be a 17 or higher. So DJ will come over and he will throw his 3rd grenade. And with a 2 there, oh, he rolled a 2. So that's actually going to be kind of a misfire. So now a misfire with a grenade. That could be really bad. Let's see how that would actually work. Okay, so we've got our unreliability rules here. And you need to immediately roll another 2d6 roll of hitting an 8+. And if you succeed, it's just kind of a little minor hiccup. But if you fail again, then you're going to have a serious problem. Now they only have rules in here for firearms. I don't see anything for grenades, but I think that this would be kind of another fun sort of house rule to put in here, that there is a thing for grenades. So I think what we would say that if he does roll a success here, then we'll just say that, oh, he fumbled a little bit with the pin or something. He didn't pull the pin correctly, but it was no big deal, and the grenade is still totally safe and intact. But if he does fail the roll here, then we'll say that it's something like he drops the grenade, maybe not right under himself, but he drops it close enough to himself that he's going to have to deal with some damage hitting him. Maybe considering that it's a grenade, we could maybe say 3d6 damage here if he fails this roll. And that's going to be a 9, so he does not fail the roll. So it's just a little hiccup, just a false alarm, no big deal. But he does fail in getting the grenade off. And we could just say that maybe that grenade is a dud. It's not going to be usable anymore. So that does leave Sarge and DJ with 1 grenade each. And we'll advance to the next turn. And this time, our battle armor is going to come up, and he's going to go for an attack on DJ. So he's only rolled a 7 there. He's got a +2 bonus, so he's going to miss. DJ manages to kind of duck out of the way of that one. And now going back to our turn, DJ is going to move out of the way, and everybody else is going to sit tight. And Moose is going to step back a little bit and prepare to fire the grenade launcher once again. And he's got to get a 6 or better here. And yep, he was able to get an 8 that time with a bonus that gives him a 10. And we will roll 5d6 for the grenade launcher. So we got 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so we got 19 damage. We were able to get through and hit some damage to the structure. And I believe our structure integrity was 2. Yeah, so he was able to get through and do some damage to the structure there, dropping that down to 1. And so the armor is almost completely finished off here. So we'll just have Sarge come up and throw one more grenade. Maybe he can finish him here. And that's going to be a 9, 10 with the range bonus. So let's see if we can get 17 damage or more. And that's 15, 20. Ooh. That's 26 damage. So I think there would be some extra effect on this, but it's going to be fine because we know that it's going to finish off the last point of the structure here. So the vehicle is now disabled and the fight has come to an end. There was a very lucky first grenade by Starge when he kind of ran out there in that sort of suicide charge. Very, very lucky grenade there to pull that off. So I think now what the squad would like to do is take a look at this thing and figure out what the heck they are actually dealing with here. So they're all going to come in and take a look at it, and we'll have them make I think maybe a mechanical roll here. I think someone has mechanical skill because we want to figure out how to open this thing up, even though it's already probably half open right now due to all the damage that it's taken. So yeah, here we've got mechanical with DJ. So I think if DJ can just make an average mechanical roll here with his +1. Now definitely if the battle armor was in full brand new condition and not damaged or anything, we might have to make a higher difficulty roll. But in this case, I think the armor is quite damaged, so maybe it'll be a bit easier to open it. So we're just going to have to roll a 7 or better here. And he's done it. He's rolled a 10. So DJ is able to figure out how to open this either by using the systems on it or by just sort of prying some different pieces apart and opening them up. So DJ opens it up and they all have a look inside. And what do they see inside? So they see in there the body of a Marine. They see a Marine's body, and they can see that, he has a uniform like a Marine. And but he is dead, and they can see on his uniform that he has the symbol for the Marine base at Pittman. And now they are all absolutely shocked because they, of course, have realized that they've just killed a fellow Marine, and also that they were just attacked by a fellow Marine. And they see the Pittman insignia on the Marine's armor, and they realize, of course, that Pittman is the base here, that even though it is a secret base, they're able to kind of put 2 and 2 together that is where this armor came from. So everyone is really, really quite shocked and dismayed here. So I think that this would be a good point for the team to make a, I believe it's a relation roll. Or yeah, a reaction roll. So we're going to have them make a reaction roll here. Let's see if a reaction roll would actually be the best thing. Yeah, so we'll make a reaction roll here because this is obviously a very disturbing situation, and we're going to randomize the reaction roll here. We're going to randomize who it actually is that will have a reaction. So roll a 1d4 here, and that's going to be a 4. So in that case, I believe that's going to be Buttons, because so we're going to Buttons is going to be a roll of a 4. So she is going to have some kind of a reaction with what's going on here. So let's roll a 1d6. And a 5 is going to give us an argument with another character. So who are they going to argue with? I think in this case, they probably would argue with Sarge, because they were going to look at Sarge and say, what the hell is going on here? You didn't tell us anything about this mission. And why are we being attacked by our own? And why are we killing our own? And so she's accusing Sarge of, not telling them what's going on, or, leading them into a clearly very messed up situation. So in this case, with a confrontation, both characters have an 8 on the social score. So it would just be a flat roll of an 8 here for Sarge to be able to diffuse this situation. So let's see if he can just pass an 8. And no, that's going to be a 7. So he's not going to be able to pass that. So he wasn't able to calm Buttons down after discovering this disturbing situation, and she's either not believing what he's saying, or she just isn't going to accept whatever answer that he says. So really, I think the only other option we have here is to contact the lieutenant, and we'd have to use the comms roll here. So let's see if we can do a comms roll. So Buttons may not be very calm right now, but she wants to get the lieutenant on the radio, and she wants to find out what the hell is going on in this situation. So we're going to have to pass a roll of an 8 comms roll, but we do have a +2 bonus with 2 comms. So we need to roll at least a 6. And that is going to be a 7. So that'll be 9 with the bonus. We will pass that, and they will be able to get in touch with the lieutenant. And the lieutenant is flying around in the the lieutenant is flying around in the ship, and I can't find their ship right now, so we'll just pretend that these guys are in a ship. And so the whole crew, they report, Buttons reports for the crew what's going on and for the squad, and she tells them that what the hell is this enemy? They've been attacked by a Marine in a combat armor, and he's from the Pittman base. And Buttons wants some answers of what the hell is going on here. And the lieutenant explains that he has some suspicions that it might be something to do with that base, but he was under very strict orders not to talk about the base unless required. But now he is going to. He tells Buttons that he's going to take this up with the command, with the Pittman command, and also with his own command, and he's going to get to the bottom of this. So he tells Buttons that he will do everything in his ability to deal with it. And we can try to make another sort of confrontation roll here, and the lieutenant has a skill of a 9, I believe. Yeah, so Lieutenant has a skill of a 9, so if he can get a 7 or higher here, and he's able to get a 7, so that's going to be an 8. So he is able to calm down Buttons, and he also does make the promise that he is going to get to the bottom of this situation, what is going on. So Buttons is definitely going to expect some answers, but she's at least willing to go along with that for right now. And the lieutenant tells everyone else to, try to find out what happened with the loggers. But I think everyone is kind of assuming now that the loggers were killed by the battle armor, or this rogue Marine, whatever appears to be going on here. And so they're going to look for any. They're instructed to look for any signs of evidence that they can possibly find to figure out, what happened with the loggers, because right now they don't see any of the loggers. So in the next episode, which I think will surely be the conclusion of the series, we will get to the bottom of what happened with the loggers. We'll see if they can find any remaining clues, and also the confrontation with the command, the commander of the Pittman base, and that's going to be Colonel Marshall. So they're going to have a little confrontation with Colonel Marshall, and get to the truth of this situation. So thank you very much for joining me for episode 5, and next time we'll see you in the conclusion.